Question is, Great Big Bertha Epic for £200 or Epic Flash for £450? Now, I can't say this is a bargain because these have held their price quite well, considering the fact that they're still a very good driver. Every so often you have this driver that kind of leaps out of the market, and I'd say it'd be like the TaylorMade SLDR, obviously this one, and a few other drivers over the years that all of a sudden, every 4 or 5 years, you get a driver that everyone goes, wow, that's different. And when this came out, it's definitely different. Now, it's not for everyone, and this has obviously been traded in mainly for this reason, is that actually, even though you potentially do get that lower spin, higher ball speed potentially, it's just not that forgiving of a driver. But for raw ball speed, when they brought out the jailbreak technology, and whether that increases the ball speed or not, questionable, but it just produces such low spin. I remember putting this in my hand a year or 2 years ago, and as soon as I hit it, I'm getting silly numbers like 1.4 backspin, and if you launch that high, it means the ball's going to A, go very far, and B, when it hits the ground, it's going to roll for a long time as well. The only problem is if you have any side spin, so if you fade the ball a lot, draw the ball a lot, you're going to cause yourself some issue. However, who is this driver for? Because still nowadays, you're still getting £200, £220, maybe £250 if it's in mint condition for this driver. Who is this for? This is for your faster club head speed. So if you just start playing golf and you're getting faster and faster, and you want something that's going to keep up with you, an extra stiff shaft or a stiff shaft, I'd never get a regular shaft in this. I'd never buy this. If you're a lady and you've been fitted for this, and you've got Lady Flex with a Great Big Bertha head, then go back to the guy that did it to you. So yeah, definitely stiff. I mean, I'm talking 105, 110 club head speed, realistically minimum to have this driver in your hands, because it's just not going to stay in the air long enough. There's so many other drivers that are more forgiving and better for you. But for myself, or for people that swing the club a bit faster, they're looking for not necessarily spending that much money, but obviously something that's going to get the ball out there, this is definitely it. But it's not the most forgiving driver in the world, as you will see, especially in my hands in a minute. But what I want to do is get some numbers. As I said, it's not a massive bargain because it's still only 2 years old, but considering against the Epic Flash, if you're not particularly worried about getting fitted, even though the fitting process is kind of how you get the most out of your drivers, a £200 equivalent of this is not a bad shout. And obviously over the years, as it gets reduced again, it's going to be even more valuable, I would say, as I can't see this getting beaten for a while in terms of low spin rate and high ball speed. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's give this a hit. Let's see what kind of distance we get. Let's see what kind of ball speeds and spin rate. I've got a 6.5 black hazardous shaft in it, and yeah, let's get into the video. First few swings of the day. See what numbers I can produce. See if I can hit some decent drives, as that is what I want to do in the future. Long drives. Bit left, club face closed. Not necessarily out the middle either, to be perfectly honest. But obviously 332 is not bad. Ball speed 178. Now obviously club speed is not measured well in here, kind of guesses it because we only got GC2, but for those numbers, that's kind of what you're looking for. Spin rate 2200, which for a normal driver, that's where you're looking between 2 and 2.5. As soon as you start going lower than that, obviously it's not necessarily going to help in terms of like off-center shots. But yeah, not bad first hit. Hopefully I can try and keep it a bit straighter than that. That's pretty good. That's round about where I'd want it. So pitching about that 320 mark, something like that, 310, 330 yards, that's pretty much bang on. Little auto putt action going on there. So again, spin rate was a bit higher because club face was a bit more open, for example. Ball speed 175. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you're not going to find a driver that's going to beat that this year. I mean, it helps. Obviously, I'm swinging it the way I'm swinging it. But if your driver's putting out those kind of numbers, whether it's 10 years old or yesterday, like, physics can't be beat. The important thing is getting that combination of head and shaft that does it for you. I'm a big fan of gel brake when it came out. Obviously, this has had its predecessor, the Flash. When it comes to the technology, I honestly don't think there's any difference. You might be talking a mile-an-hour ball speed with some of the best golfers there are. But in reality, there's so many variables. Your swing, what you had for breakfast, the conditions, how cold it is outside. Are you hitting it well? Are you hitting it off the toe? That's going to affect your ball speed more than the technology that's gone in the driver end. So if your driver is producing that kind of spin rate, that high launch, not too high spin, but getting that launch, and your consistent dispersion is really important. Loads of people, there's no point having that one drive that goes really far, but then you have 4 of them that are just all over the place. I caught that one. Trying to go after it a bit more now, see what I can really get out of it. Try and increase that ball speed. But the funny thing is, ball speed's going to be higher here. The 184 ball speed, which is like good for a standard length driver. I mean, that's pretty high. But spin rate's already knocked up to 3,000. Launch potentially a tiny bit high. So that's affected my distance. I mean, not much, but that is why getting the right shaft and head is important when it comes down to it. Not necessarily what they tell you in the adverts or what they tell you obviously on the tech-wise. So some people obviously saying these are my stats, I don't know why I'm hitting it less. I'm seeing other people with a slower swing speed, slower ball speed, and they're hitting the ball so much further. It's spin rate, launch, ball speed. That's it. That's essentially what makes a ball go far. The ball doesn't know what it's getting hit by. Last one to finish. Let's get a nice one out there. Potentially that's too high off the toe. Feel like launch is too high. As I say, it's a 9-degree driver. But I would take it on the golf course. Ball speed 183. Club head speed I imagine was higher than that. But right, let's round up this video.
So I completely forgot to film an outro, which really helped. So good work, Simon. But I think what I'm trying to say is that even though the ball speed that is produced off this club is really significant, spin rate and launch is crucial. And it doesn't matter whether your club's this year or 10 years old, as long as you've got that launch and spin rate down or in the right area, it means that your ball's going to go a lot further, regardless of how new or how expensive your driver is. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much for watching. Leave this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys later.